All right, so I've used FINRAL now, and I feel like he is very underwhelming, and I kind of understand why, because of certain things that we're gonna obviously talk about in this video. But the main thing is that this is kind of reverting back to how it was before Valkyrie Noel came out on JP. Okay, the minute Valkyrie Noel hit, it felt like there was a good change in the meta. Because even before that, I don't remember the exact units it was before Valkyrie, but it was just not a good meta. I mean, the mono meta wasn't good. It was one unit relying on another, and sometimes you would have to wait a month for a unit to become good, like Witch Queen. Witch Queen served no purpose at the beginning because Black Asta wasn't out. And then, guess what? Black Asta comes out. So when you do releases like this, it's just not good. And that's the situation that FINRAL finds himself in. Every single mono team at the moment that he could be used with is not good for him. All right, we go to mono red. The problem with mono red is that turn one there's silence, and then afterwards, FINRAL doesn't really have much use besides giving that mobility, and they make quick work of Asta. With mono green, well, the problem is that the DPS just isn't good enough in that type of team environment where FINRAL isn't supporting him enough. And I mean, if FINRAL was giving magic attack or all attack instead of just attack, well, maybe would be better. But the problem is you're usually running with magic attack. So because of that, it's just hard for FINRAL to really prove to be that crazy. And then in mono blue, well, mono blue, I've seen it doesn't really work the best. It's mainly because Julius doesn't have his skill page. I think Mono Blue could be a lot better if that was the case, but you're taking Valkyrie Noel out of Julius. You're not giving him much protection. He can't get the protection from Defender William. So FINRAL is kind of left to be nowhere. The worst part is his dupe 5. I hate it. Taunt immunity for one turn. What does that serve? This is literally the weirdest dupe I've ever seen. If this was permanent taunt immunity for him, he would actually be a good amount better. Or if it just gave taunt immunity to I don't know, but just not that. Either taunt immunity to himself or none at all. I don't get why that's there. Okay, this +3 speed also makes 0 sense because no matter what, he's going first. Okay, this is the weirdest design for a unit ever. Reason being, because of the 20% mobility, he's at a speed where he's still going to go first. Okay, I want to make that clear. With or without the speed on a mono team, he's going first. But you only get this speed on a mono team, which is the problem, okay? So definitely I think these dupes were a fumble, first of all. I feel like the design is way worse than I thought it was going to be. And then the worst part is the only usable part of his kit is the skill 2. The skill 1 lets him get the ult quicker, but then the ult is just to get the skill 2 quicker and to get rid of the taunt. The buff removal is great, but I barely have had it be useful because of the current team environment. And then even worse, the combo. Let's look at Valkyrie Noel's. Amazing 10 out of 10 in vulnerability. Okay. Where is Zora? Counterattack. Amazing. Vanessa. Where's Vanessa? Vanessa. Reduce mobility. Amazing. And then Gray. Defense increase. But then we go from all of that. We go from all of that good stuff from after first anniversary on JP to this. To crit damage, right? This is not something that is really usable. And I definitely think that it was a very bad idea for them to do this. Now, even worse, they made it to where the skill page, the dupes are pretty much necessary to max dupe. And this is on a normal pickup. And I just hate that they're putting chances, like these % chances on a normal pickup already. But then they're making it that the dupes are just really bad on his mage dupe. But it's easier to get the mage dupes. So it's just odd how they're doing it, right? Now, this is where it gets even worse and where I think they're reverting back to their old ways a bit with FINRAL, which makes me very unhappy with Vic Games right now and how they decided to handle this unit. So remember, FINRAL was supposed to come out at the end of May 30th. We are almost 3 months since then, 2 months and a half. We are literally, it's been 70 days since he was supposed to come out on JP. Okay, I just want to put that out. Now, why did they delay him? Let's talk about that. He would have actually been too strong if they released him exactly like this 2 months ago. Just like that. Okay. Reason being, 2 things. 1, Vanessa obviously wasn't out, so no silence. Okay. So if FINRAL released right after Noel with Gray, for example, Vanessa wouldn't be able to silence, and then Mono Red would be way too good. They'd be able to turn one cleave no matter what. Then the other thing is that Black Divider on JP is the reason why they didn't release FINRAL yet, because Black Divider has Immortality, first of all, to survive and then swipe the team. So that's a Black Asta counter no matter what. And then he also does more damage to Black Asta, okay? Because defense increase, right? That stuff. Not getting into that. So FINRAL would have been way too good because Black Divider and also Vanessa were not out. Both of them were not out. Due to that, FINRAL could not be released then because he would have genuinely just dominated the meta a bit too much. So I understand that. But then they released him at the most awkward time. They obviously repurposed him to be for the next mono red team. Now, why am I saying that? Well, the main reason is because of this, okay? So if we check this out, we can see that Dorothy's red. Okay, I want to say that. Dorothy's red. And turn 1, she's still going to be great. Now, the thing is, not only is Dorothy red, but Charlotte and Yami, whenever they come out, I have no clue anymore when they're going to come out. But whenever they come out, they're also red. So clearly they're repurposing FINRAL to be used with a new mono red team in the future because she is a red supporter and Yami is a red attacker. Okay, so when you put these three together, okay, it's kind of obvious what FINRAL is meant for. Okay, and Dorothy also, just to quickly say, like this nightmare buff being level 5 random debuffs and then being able to extend the debuff and then spread it to the whole team. Very toxic, okay? With buff block 2, I mean, bro, you put this with FINRAL, it's going to be incredible, okay? Just looking at this, query reduction, you're actually going to have some level of damage reduction, especially with Charlotte. And then you're going to reduce their mobility. And then with FINRAL and Dorothy together, you're going to go a lot quicker. And then, not even just that, FINRAL is also going to make use of his attack increase on Yami. So that team for sure is going to work a lot better than right now. There's just not much to work with because not even Black Divider he can work with, okay? I want to make that clear. If we look at it, he can't work with anyone right now. The 3 main DPSs, okay? So, well, we'll say 4. So Magna, magic attack. Zora, attack, but you can't put FINRAL with dark units. Yuno, magic attack. Julius, magic attack. But in the future, attack once he gets his second skill page to put speed on. So he can't work with either of these. So then what's the point of using them, correct? That's basically the whole point. The speed or the attack isn't just, it's not as good. And then off mono, he just doesn't work that well from what I've been seeing. But I'll obviously continue to experiment. So what they did with this unit is basically release him now for when he's going to be good in a month and a half, 2 months. Maybe earlier, but I think a month and a half, 2 months makes more sense. Which is why this unit is one of the worst releases ever. Tied with pretty much, I'd say, Witch Queen. And this is just like on launch releases. Okay, Witch Queen, Noelle, both very bad releases. Okay, and then if we're going to ones where, I mean, they gain value over time, like those are the 2 main ones that did gain some level of value. And William 2 is also releasing right after Mario, so very bad timing for William. Now these units gain value over time and FINRAL will gain value over time, but releasing him now when he serves no purpose to anyone summoning right now is BS. Okay, horrible, especially when you consider, I don't know where I thought my cursor was, but if you consider this part, okay, if we go into the notice, you will see that the future major changes, what is in summon? Okay, the future major changes shows that not this. You will be able to see that there's going to be a mage selection ticket from general in season 1 to 10. And over time, FINRAL should be added to this. Okay? And since it probably will be added to this in the future, that will mean you will be able to get FINRAL in a time where he's more needed than right now. So summoning on FINRAL serves no purpose. They made someone who was supposed to be very good, very bad on launch. They made it to where the game's going to be a lot drier as we're still waiting for the content. So FINRAL, like new units, is basically our content for right now until we're waiting. So if you're not releasing new game modes, if you're not like pushing out new content as actual game modes, you have to at least make sure and do the bare minimum that the units are good, and that is not what they did, and it is a horrible thing. And FINRAL is somewhat fun, but he's not designed the way he should have been. He is just not that good. Okay, it is very unfortunate, but it is how it is. I wish it was better. He's not horrible. He's probably like A tier, maybe S. But it's rough, right? It is rough. Let me know what you guys think of FINRAL, but his whole design is just very flawed. Okay, I feel like it is very flawed. This combo could have been way better, and I think the combo could have definitely saved him if it was invulnerability or protection, but it wasn't, so there's not really much to say on that. Basically, where I'm ending off, I just wanted to have this rant because FINRAL was my most anticipated normal pickup SSR until Dwarf Charmy. I feel like she'll be a normal SSR. So until Dwarf Charmy, this was it. and he was completely ruined, which is just unfortunate. So I hope that Vic Games could pick it up with Charlotte and Yami next. And I mean, FINRAL is going to be good in the future, but they should not put a unit in the dumps right away and then make him better over time. It's just not good game design in terms of right now.